Okay, good morning students. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic of environmental science, that is biological diversity. Okay, also known as biodiversity. Now, what is the term biodiversity? Bio means living and diversity means variety or variations of life. So the term biodiversity means the variety of life on the earth. Okay, that is with respect to different type of plant species, different type of animal species, floral species, faunal species, all this constitutes a vast arena of biodiversity. So biodiversity, you can also say it is a variability, the variations which we encounter among different living organisms. So variability among different living organisms and the ecological complexes of which they are part. Okay, so diversity is within the different species and ecosystems, and we can also find diversity between different species and different ecosystems, because within one species also there can be different type of biological diversity, and between different species and different ecosystems also we can get different type of variations. Okay, so this term is known as biodiversity, that is the variety of all life on the earth. Now we have three different levels of biodiversity, and these levels are species diversity, genetic diversity and ecosystem diversity. Now what is species diversity? Species diversity refers to the number and kinds of living organisms, the different type of species which we find. Floral species, faunal species. There are n number of, you can say, so many classes you must have studied in zoology also. Okay, and so many phylums are there. So all these are by virtue of different type of species which are present of different life forms on planet Earth. We call it as species diversity. Genetic diversity, as the name is genetic, the term gene is here. So genetic diversity refers to the genetic variation within a population of species. Okay, what all genetic variation we get within a population of one species, that is known as genetic diversity. And the third level of diversity is the ecosystem diversity, which is now we are taking a very larger gradient, that is the habitats. We are talking of the different type of ecosystems, terrestrial ecosystem, aquatic ecosystems, different type of habitats, different type of biological communities, and what all ecological processes, the structural role, the functional aspects we get there, that is known as the ecosystem diversity. So these are the three main levels of diversity: species diversity, genetic diversity and the ecosystem diversity. Now what is the main foreword when we talk of biodiversity? Why we are studying biodiversity? Okay, so what is the foreword? What is the basic principles behind studying the biodiversity? First and foremost, we can say is the conservation of biological diversity, and this preamble of biodiversity, it came from the famous CBD, that is the Convention on Biological Diversity. So these are the parts of that convention. Okay, that is the first and foremost is that we have to conserve biological diversity in all its forms, in all its dimensions. So conservation of biodiversity. The second aspect is the sustainable use of biodiversity. Now you all know the word sustainable by now. So word sustainable you find everywhere whenever we talk of any environmental issues, anywhere that is a basic issue or it is an applied issue, this word sustainability will be there. So what type of use the biodiversity should have, what type of use the biodiversity should be put into, that is known as the sustainable use. Okay, we don't have to become exploitative in nature. Even for biodiversity, it has to have a sustainable use and leaving enough for the future generation. That is what sustainability means. And the third important component of this CBD is fair and equitable sharing of profits. There should be equity sharing of the profits and benefits arising out of the use of biological diversity. Of course, the third component, the different type of international agreements and international cooperation has to be there. But still, this is written in the preamble that all these three should be the outcomes of any biodiversity conservation. That is conservation, its sustainable use, and fair and equitable sharing of the profits. Now, what are the value? What is a value? Value means, if you give a value to something, means you are giving it some importance. Okay, and if you give the importance to that particular thing or whatever that thing in question is, it may be a person, it may be a commodity, you give the value means you are giving importance, and because you are giving importance, therein lies its conservation also. Because if you are going to preserve that particular thing, you are going to protect that particular thing. So value of biodiversity means, what is the importance of biodiversity? Biodiversity affects us all. Okay, we all every day we are using the components of biological diversity, right from getting up in the morning, our breakfast, and till whatever different activities we have, we all are using some or the other component of biological diversity. By without using it, we cannot you can say proceed throughout a day. So biodiversity has got different type of values. There are direct consumptive values also, like it is the food value is there, it is used as raw material also, agriculture value is there, medicinal value is there, industrial value is there. Also it has got aesthetic value. Aesthetic value means scenic beauty. Okay, why people go to Mussoorie, why people go to Darjeeling? Because of the aesthetic value. And why we are going to Darjeeling, why we are going to Mussoorie? No one will go to Mussoorie if there's the mountain hilltops are just devoid of any vegetation. There is some form of vegetation, so we prefer to go to these scenic locations. So this is known as the aesthetic value of biological diversity. Recreational value of biological diversity. Okay, we have so many national parks are there, sanctuaries are there, biosphere reserves are there. They are there because of certain components, whether they are the components origin from the plant or components origin from the animal life, but because those components are present, that particular tiger is present, so you are going to Jim Corbett National Park. Elephant is present, which is again a component of biological diversity, so you are going to the Rajaji National Park. Okay, whatever food you have taken, nutritive value, you cannot sit and listen to any form of lecture unless and until you have taken some energy. Okay, some nutrition. So that is the food value of biological diversity. So similarly, values means these are different importance which we have of biological diversity, and because biodiversity is so much importance to us all, so that is why we need to go for its conservation. Then we have another aspect which is quite popular in biodiversity studies, that is the hotspots. Hotspots are the areas which are rich in biological diversity. Okay, and there are total around 25 hotspots in the world, and around these 25, 2 hotspots we have in India also, and they are this Western Ghats and covering the Eastern Himalayas. They fall under the hotspots of Indian origin. So all the hotspots area, they are biologically richest, very rich in biological diversity. There is a different type of age structures you will find in such places which are identified at hotspots, and different type of competition will be there. Interspecific competition will be there, intraspecific competition will be there. Lot of endemic species will also be found in these hotspots, and but at the same time they are also the most threatened ecosystem, and that is why they need to be conserved. Okay, so all the hotspots they need to be conserved. They have to we have to give some good, you can say, conservation status to these hotspots area because of their threatened ecosystem. Then we talk of conservation, that is biodiversity conservation. Now India has many national parks and sanctuaries, and many are under process also of being you can say notified as national parks and sanctuaries. So see, when we talk about biodiversity conservation, basically we have 2 type of conservation. Okay, that is, we have the, I'm just going to the next slide, like we have 2 types of conservation. We have the in situ conservation and we have the ex situ conservation of biological diversity. Now in situ means on the site, in the site, or on the site, or in the habitat. You are conserving that particular plant or that particular animal in its own habitat without taking it out to some other distant location. Okay, all the protected areas means national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserves. These protected areas, they fall under the concept of in situ conservation. Okay. For example, let's talk of very famous and one of the first national park of India, Jim Corbett National Park, which we have in Uttarakhand. Now in Jim Corbett National Park, basically it was made for tiger population. Okay. And it is not that only tiger will be there, other species are also there, but the main you can say conservational efforts will be laid on this particular animal. So see, tiger was already there. What the government did? Government just demarcated the boundary and made it a national park. Similarly, Rajaji National Park, elephants were already there. They just government they demarcated the boundary and made it a national park. Okay, so they did not take any you can say life out of to some other place, that plant life and animal life, but they are just conserving it, protecting it then and there. So this type of conservation is known as in situ conservation. And the next one, the opposite one, will be of course the ex situ. Ex situ means external to the site, external to the habitat, where you are taking that plant or animal outside its habitat. Okay, for example, zoo. Suppose there is some leopard from Uttarakhand, you can take it to Delhi Zoo. Okay, for conservation efforts. So you are just taking it outside its habitat. Botanical gardens. These all examples of ex situ conservation. All the biotechnological approaches like cryopreservation techniques, germplasm banks, seed banks, all they come under the ex situ conservation. Okay, so this is the difference between in situ and ex situ conservation. So the network of these protected areas, that is the national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserves, it is being strengthened by a number of national conservation projects. And the very famous project, we had the Project Tiger, which was initiated in April 1973, and the crocodile breeding project launched in April 1975, way back, very long back, and still the work is being done on these projects. So this is the overall scenario you can see of biodiversity conservation. When we talk of biodiversity conservation, that biodiversity conservation is of two types, in situ and ex situ. Okay, in situ conservation means, as I told you about protected areas, PA. PA stands for protected area, PAN, protected area network. So under this we have different type of national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, sacred groves, sacred lakes. Okay, where both the terrestrial life as well as marine life can be aquatic life can be preserved. So these are examples of in situ conservation. The opposite one is ex situ. Okay, like we have the home gardens, we have these cryopreservation techniques, gene banks are there, seed banks are there, botanical gardens are there, zoological gardens are there. Okay, all these come under the ex situ conservation of biological diversity. This is one of the image of this Rajaji Tiger Reserve, Rajaji National Park, established in 1983, and for the conservation of this elephant species. And Rajaji, you should know that why this national park is known as Rajaji. This is your homework I am giving you. Who is Rajaji in Rajaji National Park? Just find it out. Okay, just find it out. Who is Rajaji in Rajaji National Park? Okay, so just I think just find out the answer of this to this question. And this is one of the botanical garden, one of the image of botanical garden of this is from NVRI. Okay, so these are different types of, you can say, conservation approaches which we have for biological diversity. So that is why biodiversity conservation is very important, because now we just know that there are so many values which we can assign to biological diversity. As I had taken the previous slide, we have ecosystem value, nutrition value, environmental value, industrial value is there. Okay, and of course future value, research value is there. So many people are doing you can say studies on these concepts of biological diversity. Your entire forestry, horticulture, agriculture streams, they are totally dedicated to biological diversity only. So I'm giving you this activity here, that you will write a note on Project Tiger, which is a very important project. Okay, and later on the National Tiger Conservation Authority was also made, but just you should know about Project Tiger, because tiger has got a you can say important national place in our country. So just this is the activity I'm giving you, students, that you write a note on Project Tiger. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.